All right. Everybody's tuning in to Dodgers Digest. Welcome to our Monday morning live stream. I'm Mike Nelson. I'm here with Brad J. How you doing today, Brad?
Oh man, I am doing good. I mean, I'm doing better than the Dodgers have been the last three games against the Astros.
Yeah, I know. It sucks to really lose to those guys, as we know. The Astros are probably one of the biggest cheaters in sports history, and we even have to talk a little bit about what Orel Hershiser said on Friday. I mean, he said that it looked like
Wait, I didn't
the
hear that.
Astros
What did he
were
say?
seeing the signs. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I just cannot handle it when Altuve does good. Okay, I'm just gonna say that right now. I do not like seeing that guy do good, and that he kills me. And he really kind of just did what he does sometimes, and he had a couple of really good games against the Dodgers. But whatever. Okay, it's a sweep. Should we be alarmed about a sweep? Should be alarmed about two sweeps because it was the Angels that swept them at
yeah.
home, and these are both sweeps at home, which are that's kind of a rare thing to have two of them. I don't think Houston has not swept them since 2008 or something like that. So it's like, are you? Do you get concerned about it? I mean, I don't because still look, best record in all of National League, second best in Major League Baseball. So, with all the missing parts that we've had this season, I still think we're holding on, man. We're holding on, and we're going to be fine.
Yeah, still in
We're going
first
to
place
write,
by a lot. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, we're going to write. I said at the beginning, Brad Stradamus was calling it out and saying that we would be by the time the season ended, we'll be 10 games above our closest competitor behind us. And what is it right now? 7 games? Yeah. San Diego 7 games back, San Francisco
yeah,
7 games
seven.
back, and Arizona's 11 and a half. I feel like most of those teams are going to be right around that number, about 10 to 11 back behind us, because the perfect storm's coming.
Yeah, with as we know the injuries to the players coming back and all that. That's of course the hope for the Dodgers, and it is like the Dodgers gave up 29 runs this weekend. 18 on Friday. That was really rough to watch, and
Oh,
it was the
dude.
first time the Dodgers played a good team in a while because the last few
Yeah.
weeks they've been playing some pretty bad teams. So I think that also made a difference in this weekend.
And the thing is, Houston hasn't been playing super good. They've been playing decent. Like as of recent, they weren't playing off the hook. But when they came in against the Dodgers, they beat them when they're down, and they just beat them against the fence and took care of it. It's like you hate to see that, but you know that there's going to be a chance to get them back on that too as well. And it just they caught the Dodgers at a bad time. I mean, look, losing Muncy, as much as a lot of people who hated on Muncy all the time and was like, "Oh, Muncy needs to be traded, Muncy this, Muncy that." It's like, now where are you guys at now? Because we need Muncy now,
It's been pretty
and that's
quiet, Brad. I don't know. The comments have kind of gone pretty quiet since Muncy got hurt. But yeah, we have to talk about that. I mean, I think losing Muncy is kind of a big deal. It's a big deal that the
huge deal.
Dodgers are trying to make it like it's not a big deal, but I think
It is a big deal.
internally it is a big deal. I don't know what you think about the Muncy
No,
injury.
they know that. The Dodgers know that. They're just kind of playing damage control, I guess, as you would do. But it's a big deal for sure. There's no way that's not a big deal because you look at who has to replace him, right? Like who are your choices? So it's basically Kike and it's Miggy Rowe, right? Those are the guys that are kind of mixed around a little bit, right? We don't have Taylor anymore to do that, and not that we needed Taylor. I'm not saying that, but Kike's batting 195 this year, 8 homers, 22 RBIs, and Rojas is what 246 this year with 4 homers. So the guys filling in for him aren't really filling in for him and stepping up to the plate. So with Muncy out, it hurts the Dodgers a lot. And they bring Ruiz in, right? Estuary Ruiz, and he's only had 6 at bats, but he's batting 167. So he was not looking very good at all. So your replacements aren't there. It does make you start thinking about the whole Nolan Arenado trade again. Like, remember how much talk about that? Like, oh, we got to get a third baseman. Oh, we got to get a third baseman. Well, that would kind of work in a way to have him if he was on the team with Muncy as the backup. But Muncy's 10 days. So you got to look at it this way 10-day IL. He's going to be back. He'll be eligible to play before All Star break. But if you're the Dodgers, why would you do that? You'd play him after. Let him have the extra 2 days for the All Star break. And that's what I would do with him. But he's going to be back right after the All Star break, no matter what.
Yeah, that's the course what the idea is with Muncy, but that point on Nolan Arenado, I mean, I think it'd be a pretty, it would be a huge trade if the Dodgers were to get him, right? Because I think he's one of the best fielding third basemen for sure in baseball, and as we know, he could, offensively as well. So I don't know if the Dodgers find the right, package for him. I don't know. I just think the Cardinals, are they going to trade another player to the Dodgers in back-to-back years? I mean, they just did it last year. They're going to do it again.
Yeah, they probably don't feel good about that one, right? Oh yeah, sure. We'll trade you. We'll trade you, Tommy.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and take that guy. And Tommy hasn't been playing that good as of late either. I mean, he's only batting .239 right now. He's having his problem. Hey, this is we got a couple in here. What's up, Dodger fam? Finally able to catch some live stream again. Bearded. Yeah, man. I've been gone, so it's tough when I'm on the road doing events, and Mike keeps me on it and say, hey, let's do the live. So I'm stoked that we're here to do a live. Like, I'm in a random hotel traveling, and that's we cut it. So thanks for that. Bearded? But yeah, the whole Muncy thing. Let me ask you this. What do you think about? Okay, no one really talks about it. I think I'm probably one of the only ones to mention it. Will Smith was a great third baseman. He played third base. He played third base through college. Like Will Smith could play it. Now, just hear me out, Mike. I know you're just like, oh, what? I'm leading into this. Okay, just think about this. They try to give him a break, right?
Yeah.
They try to let rushing play a little bit because Smith is doing so good, they want him healthy. But when you get into the hot months of summer in baseball, that takes a lot out of a catcher. And there's no way you could deny that. That's one of the hardest working, positions on the field. And so my point is like, okay, this is a time where they're trying to give breaks. They're trying to bring rushing in there. But wouldn't playing third base be a little less toll on his body? And then you keep his bat in the game longer? That's all I'm saying. I'm saying he can be an everyday player if he's playing third base and then sometimes catch and just maybe depend on rushing a little bit more. I don't know, bring someone up and try to find out your happy spot there. But I just feel like Will Smith, as he gets older, I bet you that's what he ends up doing anyways. Like what happens to Will Smith 10 years from now if he wants to continue to play and, you get broken up and beat up as a catcher? How do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting that Will Smith, most guys don't know how to play both positions, right? So I think that's what makes him, I mean, I think it's definitely an option. The Dodgers have never, I don't believe have the Dodgers ever played Will Smith at third base?
Never.
A big club? I believe they haven't. It'd be a
no one even talks about it.
Yeah, it'd be a first-time thing.
Do a deep dive on him, search him a little bit more,
Yeah.
and search college years and stuff. And the dude can play third base.
Yeah.
And I know we hate losing his bat because why do we hate losing his bat? He's the freaking best dude on the team right now.
Yeah.
I mean, batting .332, 12 home runs, 45 RBIs, right?
Yeah.
Like that dude has been on fire for the Dodgers, and you hate losing the bat when rushing comes up, but you want rushing to get reps, and I feel like it hurts rushing because I feel like Dalton needs to get more reps at catching to get that major league feel. And maybe you don't want to rush him, but I feel like he could play more and probably contribute more if he played a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an option for sure. I think it'd be a great option for the Dodgers to go on and play Will Smith at times at third, give him that day off. But we have to talk about Tanner Scott once again yesterday. Giving up the home runs. What's going on with Tanner Scott? We signed him for so much money from San Diego, and this guy has been a disappointment for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Does that concern you at all for the playoffs? I mean, the way this guy is playing. I mean, the Dodgers can't not play Scott. I mean, they gave him highest paid reliever. I mean, come on.
Well, you get a guy that kicks your butt like the last few years. Like he beat up on the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Like he really, and the Dodgers like, wow, this dude's good. Look, he made us look bad. So let's get him on the team. Now he's making us look bad again, but in a different way. It's like, I mean, look, what do you do with the guy? You spent the money on him. I mean, Tanner Scott, 3.76 ERA, 1-2 record, 45 Ks, but he comes in and just, I mean, what did he give up? Like 3 long balls all of last year or something like that? And it's like 8 or 9 this year already.
It's crazy.
Like, man, I don't know why this is happening with the Dodgers with him. I don't know what's going on with him, but
the velocity's down. I see the velocity. I mean, last year I think he had a lot more velocity, and I think right from the beginning of this year he has not had the same velocity. I don't know if it's an injury or he has not pitched at all the same Remember during the playoffs, I mean, he was basically the only pitcher on San Diego that shut the Dodgers down. He didn't give up any runs against the Dodgers.
That's a good point. I forgot that. You're right. Yeah. No, he did. I mean, well, you got to send him out there. It's not like unless you're going to try and trade with someone or something
no,
like that.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's happened. I think you're keeping him, but man, like something's going on there. Not liking the way that's going on. Bearded also asked us, "What's the update on Muncy? He's been camping with no service."
Yeah,
must be nice. I like the sound of that. Well, just a quick update. We'll put on the injured list on the 3rd, I think it was, and so 10-day. I doubtful that he'll start before All-Star game. I would think they would sit him. Maybe San Francisco at the end. He gets, if it's fine, but I don't know. What else you got?
We got Tim Rash talking about Noah Davis, saying no. We got some hate for Noah Davis. Noah Davis, the pitcher, of course, came up after Garcia was cut this past week. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
I think with Davis, he's a young guy. I mean, it's kind of hard for us to talk shit about him now. I mean, this guy's still pretty young.
He needs mental health counseling. Whoever
signed him. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That is ruthless, Tim Rash. Okay.
Yeah.
He's young. That's how I'm going to say.
Young guy.
Because if you start, adding up and looking at a young pitcher and he's maybe stumbles at the beginning or first couple years or whatever the story is, and then you immediately write him off, that's not a good thing to do because pitchers find their groove. Pitchers change things. We talk about the velocity of Scott, right? You talk about his velocity being off as a pitcher. Dude, just remember when Kershaw lost his velocity?
Yeah.
If you remember that, he would go out and get his start and try to pitch the same game that he pitched when he had velocity, when he could throw 96 miles per hour on a fastball, then offset it with 12-6 curve, right?
Yeah.
He could offset that and get strikeouts. Well, he came into games and he tried to pitch like that again, throwing like 92 and 91, and that gave batters a step up on him, and he had to adjust it. Now, he doesn't pitch the same game plan at all that he did when he was throwing that. So if you're Scott and you have lost velocity and last year was your big hurrah, you need to adjust your freaking game is what you need to do, and try and do different repetitions of what pitches, what's going to be your out pitch. All that kind of stuff needs to change when you lose velocity. You've got to figure that out. And I feel like that's why Kershaw's done what he's done. 4-0, 3.43 ERA, like hit the 3,000 mark, got picked up to the All-Star team. I mean, that's what you do. You adjust your game. And if Scott doesn't do that, that ERA is going to be like around 5 or something like that. We don't need that in the playoffs, do we?
No. Now, we got to talk about Clayton Kershaw. I mean, last week was a historic, week for Clayton Kershaw, getting to the 3,000 strikeouts. It was a big day for Dodger fans and the Dodgers and him. And, you got a chance to be there, Brad. I mean, that's pretty crazy. You got to be there for that historic moment last week. How was it?
It was insane. It was also the Yamamoto bobblehead. So that was cool to get that one.
That's right.
But it was tough because he had 2 strikes on so many guys throughout that game who would get a base hit on him or would do something against him, and he just couldn't get it. And for it to come down to like the 98th or 99th pitch, where that was the last guy he was going to face no matter what, Roberts was pulling him if he only had 2 strikeouts.
Yeah.
That was because you knew that Roberts was going to give him the long leash no matter what to try and get him those 3. So at the game, you knew it. And then when you saw the way the game was transpiring, you're like, oh, this doesn't look good. And it wasn't like Kershaw was struggling because he had 2 strikes on guys so many times before he got those 3. But to see him get it, and then there was that feeling in the air that night that, like, even though we were behind, it's like the Dodgers can come back. Like, there was no way I was going to leave that stadium until the last out was thrown. And so when Freddie got the walk-off, it was just like to cap a beautiful freaking
You stayed
night,
until the end then. You were there until the end.
I did not leave that stadium until I heard I love L.A. When I heard I love L.A., I was like, okay, now we can go.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah.
It was a game within a game because you don't see games like you see games like that when guys are chasing immortality. Like 3,000, you're only the 4th lefty to ever do that. Like that's pretty gnarly. company too. If you look at who he's, was it Randy Johnson, the big unit, Sabathia, and I forget the rest of the guys. But every time he would get a strike, the crowd would cheer for that thing, for like him getting the 3,000 and the 2 strikes, and the crowd would get up. And so the crowd was like, it was a game within a game. And once he got the 3,000, the last one, and then we could focus on winning the game, it was like, that was such an awesome game to be part of, to be there.
Yeah, historic
Don't
moment.
leave.
Yeah.
Don't leave. I mean, you know, if you watch the video of Kurt Gibson,
Yeah.
and they show the
You
ball
see
leave
yeah,
the
you see the
yard,
lights. Yeah.
and you see the brake lights on people who left that day.
Yeah, I never leave
Like,
early, so I don't know. I don't understand that, Dodger fans. I don't know if you want to comment below. Why do you leave in the 6th, 7th inning? I know a lot of Dodger fans are trying to take off to beat the traffic or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think you have to stay till the end, especially with this Dodger team, right? Because we lead the
You gotta
league in
stay.
comeback wins. So, I mean, the way this team has been playing, coming back and continuing to win games, I mean, you never know what you're going to see in the late innings. So, yeah, got to stay till the end. But, Dodgers yesterday, after their loss, had to fly to Milwaukee. So they're on the road now. Long flight to Wisconsin. We were kind of talking about this before we went on the air. It's going to be a different, another difficult test for the Dodgers, taking on a team that's currently in the playoffs right now. The Brewers, they've had a good start to the season, and playing out there in Milwaukee's always tough. It's always a big crowd and all that. They don't like the Dodgers, as we know, out in Wisconsin.
No, they don't.
So
and they got 50 wins too. So
they're good. 50 wins. So what do you think? I mean, this is another tough test for the Dodgers. What are your thoughts on this series?
Man, you gotta come back. This is what champions do. Like, a champion can go get swept 3 in a row and just take the dirt off the shoulder, right? And just come back and just go, no, here we go. Take the series, win 2 out of 3. That's what you're supposed to do. So that's what the Dodgers have to do. And if you are a true champion, first of all, getting swept 2 times this year at home still is the weirdest thing. That's an anomaly to even talk about. But you've got to respond back. It's how hard you get hit and put down and how hard you keep coming back to do it. And that shows a true champion. So the Dodgers, this is the time to do it. You got a lot of guys aren't hitting. A lot of guys are in funks. But that turns around because it's streaky. Like, sometimes the ball looks like a beach ball when they're throwing it at you. And then sometimes it looks like a golf ball. It's like, it depends where you're at in your pitching psyche. But I always say with Freddie, when you start seeing Freddie hit opposite field, then he's locked in.
Yeah.
So he'll take that pitch outside and go oppo with it. Like, that's important stuff right there. That's when he's on. He's not pressing. I feel kind of the same with Mookie too as well. But the Dodgers need to step up. You're going to face Milwaukee 6 times in the next 2 weeks. So 3 times after the All-Star break. So send a message now and get some W's out there and win the series, Win the series, get 2 out of 3, then go take on the lowly Giants and take 2 out of 3 out of those guys. And I bet you they're going to start – I bet you anything they're going to put Barnes in the game. I
know,
feel like
that's
Barnes
right.
gets a call-up before the game.
That's usually how it works, right?
Yeah.
We had a pretty cool comment here from Connor Kenway saying, any thoughts on Paul Skeens getting dealt at the deadline? The Dodgers should be all in and trying to acquire Paul Skeens. He will automatically be the ace for the next few years. Well, I got to give my opinion on this. I mean, I think the Dodgers already have, like we're talking about, Glasnow, Snell.
Yeah.
I think trading for Paul Skeens would take a lot. I mean, they're not going to be able to trade some lowly prospect for this guy. They got to give up a lot to give up Paul Skeens. So I think the Dodgers should pass on trading for Paul Skeens. What do you think on this?
Oh, okay. This leads me perfectly. Nice segue, Mike. This takes me to the Glasnow update.
Yes, right.
So start looking at your updates before you start making big trades right now, because Glasnow is supposed to start before the All-Star break. They said he literally could start a game, either the last one against Milwaukee or possibly the Giants. So that's Glasnow. Snell rehab, they're saying he could be back for sure, actually pitching in a major league game by late July. Sasaki's now throwing from ground with velocity, like he's letting it rip right now. But they're saying he definitely will pitch in the second half. So is that August? With Glasnow and Snell coming back, I don't know if I would go and spend a lot and get rid of a lot of people when you have these guys coming back. I think that's you got to be careful with that one, because if all three of these guys are back, let's say for the month of August, and they're actually able to, start every 5 or 6 days, then I don't see where you would need him at that point.
Well, I don't know about Sasaki. I mean, Dave Roberts did say that they're planning to, have, the rest of the year without him. So I don't know about Sasaki.
No, they've changed it, because as of yesterday, he was throwing velocity and like full speed throwing, not on the mound, but throwing full speed. And they said that they kind of jumped the gun on that.
Yeah.
But that his possibility of coming back, he'll pitch the second half. They're swaying towards he's going to pitch second half no matter what.
That's the plan. So, getting the three of those guys back, I think, kind of closes the door on going after one of the best pitchers in the game, I would say. But
I'm thinking third.
Here. What were you going to say, Brad?
I'm thinking third base. Let's maybe talk infield. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you got?
We got, what is it? Andres saying we have to take into consideration what version of Max Muncy we're getting back. I think we should this guy says I think we should get another third baseman before the end of the trade. Yeah, that's what the comment there. I don't know. Like I said, getting Nolan Arenado would be huge for the Dodgers, right? I think it'd be a huge pickup. I think that's the only guy the Dodgers would seriously consider right now, because I don't know if there's any other third basemen out there that have the kind of resume he has and that would be a replacement for Max Muncy. But I think the Dodgers, aren't going to stick by Muncy though. I mean, if they don't get that trade done, they're going to stick by him. I don't know what you think about that.
I like what he said there, because you don't know what Muncy's coming back.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a bone bruise. But look, and people would say, hey, bone bruise isn't that bad, right? You'd be able to come back from that. But then again, remember how he went down? And do you remember how the pain he was in?
Yeah.
That makes me think that it is a severe bone bruise. And maybe that's not 10 days. Maybe that's more like 30. So if it's that situation and you lose the guy all the way through the rest of July and possibly don't get him into August, which he's not, I'm not saying they're doing that yet, but you don't know. The way he would look like he was in pain, looked like it looked just a little more serious than a bone bruise to me.
No, it definitely looks serious. Yeah.
To me, I thought he hyperextended a full knee and like blew it all out. The way he was rolling around in pain. So I think pitching isn't. If you have to look at something for the Dodgers, I think it would be more like looking at a third baseman or someone like that, or making changes within your team to see who can cover that.
Yeah, so making possibly a trade for an infielder, kind of like what they did last year. Getting Tommy Edman to kind of build up the team, but I don't know. It's going to be hard to make back-to-back years make a trade like that. I mean, it's going to be tough. I think it's not going to be. We know the Dodgers are a great front office. They're going to be hard at work to try to make that done. But I think it is. Last year everything kind of worked out at the trade deadline, and I think we have to kind of be a little bit cautious this year that might not happen again. Right? I mean, I think that's I don't know. Do you think they'll get it done back-to-back years, making all those trades like they did last year and led to winning the World Series? It's going to be hard to do that again in 2 years.
Well, I think that if you look at all the major league teams together in a group and say what team is likely to be able to do something like that, obviously Dodgers would be at the top of your list. So if anyone's going to make a move like that, Dodgers will do it if they need to do it. But like I said, you got to take that in consideration. You got to go, okay, what do we need? Do we need pitching right now? Well, we're getting these guys back. Should we trust that they're back? I mean, what's the deadline? Is it 31st July? Is that what it is? It's the end of July, right?
Yeah.
So you'll know for sure if Glasnow should be playing completely before the end of July for one.
Yeah.
And then Snell should be right around that moment. So maybe you're looking at it at that time, but I think infield is what you're looking at. I don't think getting a starter in there and giving up a bunch of dudes or giving up a bunch of money and some dudes on that. I just don't like that idea.
Raider Man saying, what's up?
My opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, Raider Man saying, I'd take Skeens for Roki or Glasnow. That's the comment for Raider Man. This guy would take Skeens over Roki or Glasnow.
But Glasnow would have to come in and pitch good, so he would be, an attractive person to get. Like, that's the problem with that. Like,
so you think getting Paul Skeens, you'd have to trade somebody like Glasnow then? That's what he would take.
It's tough because another team's like, oh, we're gonna get Glasnow. Wait, didn't he just get the last couple of years? Like, who's gonna?
But that's a big risk though, trading away Tyler Glasnow. I mean, I don't know would the Dodgers really even consider making a trade like that. Would they trade away Tyler Glasnow? I don't know if they would.
No, if you think about how much time they put into him,
Yeah.
they're sending him out there.
Yeah.
He's part of the team moving forward. Now, if he gets injured, knock on wood, and he's out the rest of the season, then that's a whole different story. What else we got, man? There's a lot coming in, huh?
Yeah, we
Can't
got
keep
a
up.
Grizz saying maybe it's time for Freeland to get the call up at shortstop. Mookie goes back to right field. Teo goes to left. Bad defense has really hurt our pitching and held us back so far. What do you think about that? Getting Freeland getting that call up. Mookie going back to the outfield. I like that. But what are your thoughts on
I
that?
know you do.
Yeah,
Your group and a bunch of other people want that to happen,
yeah.
but it's like wanting Santa Claus to show up during Easter. They're not going to do it. I mean, even though it's a great idea because he's a Gold Glove outfielder,
Yeah.
right? So no matter what, you can't say it's a bad idea. In all situations, you can't say it's a bad idea to move Mookie back to the outfield. You can't say that, right?
Yeah.
Because he's Gold Glove. But Dodgers are seem stuck in their way that they're not going to change him, and I don't think Mookie wants to go either. And I
You think he personally wants to stay there at shortstop?
Yeah, I think he does. He seems like he does. He's not a guy to say, okay, I'm going to give up and move on over. And I don't know about defense. I think we played some good D yesterday. I mean, Kim, the throw he had, oh man, from second, dude, I think defense is not that bad. And I think that you can't look at Mookie and say, oh, he's killing the team. You can look at Muncy when he was getting all those errors and say that was hurting the team, which it was. But as far as D, I don't think Dodgers are playing that bad at D. I think I've seen Pajes have a few hiccups in the outfield. I've seen the same thing out of Teo. But I think defense has been somewhat decent, and I just don't think that Mookie will move. I don't think he wants to move, and I don't think the Dodgers are willing to move him right now.
So, like last week when Mookie got that mental day from Dave Roberts, I mean, the first thought I had was, that day that they gave him off was basically then for him to get recharged in terms of because he was struggling offensively, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really think it was shortstop related. I talked about that in the video. I don't really think it was shortstop related because I don't think there was issues with him playing at short for the reason for them to give him that day off, right? I mean, I think it's more about him having, struggling offensively, and I think that kind of threw fans off this past week when the Dodgers gave him that day off.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes that you've got to have it, and when your guys are struggling, man, sometimes you gotta make them take the day off.
Yeah,
you really do, and it's especially for Mook because you can see him struggling, you can see the look on his face, but then you'll see him go out there and then he'll have 3 at bats and swing at the first pitch. And it's like, well, dude, don't do that, okay? So it's like you got to. No matter what, one thing the Dodgers always been good at is being able to take pitches, and have long at bats. And I feel like right now you're not seeing that. You're seeing guys get out there and swing at first pitch a lot. I get the ambush, but man, you need to look at the more pitches you look at, the better your chances. Everybody knows that.
We got Raider Man saying should have taken Arenado from the Cardinals. We got another fan saying Dodgers should, it still can happen. Yeah. Still got a month to go. We still have some hope to get him. So, yeah, it's still there.
Don't they have a chance to be in the playoffs, though? I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, they're not completely out of it. The Cardinals did lose really bad yesterday against the Cubs out of Wrigley Field. They kind of got destroyed last night, Sunday night game. So, I mean, I don't know. The Cardinals making the playoffs doesn't seem likely. I mean, sure, they got a shot, but I don't think they have enough on their roster. So, I think Arenado will once again be kind of shopped around. And we know he personally wants to come to L.A. We know that's been reported over and over again. Yeah.
He's from California.
Yeah. So he wants to come play for the Dodgers. But do the Dodgers want to, give up? They got to give up a lot to get him. I mean, it's not going to be – they're not going to, just give up nothing, right? They're going to have to give up some top prospects. And I wonder, looking at a possible trade for Nolan Arenado, what would they have to give up from this roster too? Do you think they have to give up somebody from the current – roster, or is it just going to be enough prospects? Well, who else do you think they would have to give up to trade for Nolan?
I mean, it'd be more of a package deal if you're taking someone from the current roster. Maybe maybe you're pulling like a Rojas at that point, and maybe is part of the trade with another maybe a guy from OKC or something like that. Maybe you're trying to do that and money, or maybe one of your top dudes. Maybe you're looking at Fiducia as a trade. Like, who knows what you'd be doing to trade that, but somebody off the current roster would not help your chances. You'd be filling a hole and then creating another hole.
Yeah, well, would you package Muncy with prospects to trade him? That's I think what a lot of fans are wondering,
No,
right?
and I don't think the Dodgers would do it. I think
They wouldn't do it.
No, 10 years, 200 plus home runs in a Dodger uniform. No, they would not do that.
Even though Muncy's at the end of his contract.
Yep.
They wouldn't do it.
Yep. I still feel like now I start feeling like they're going to bring him back next year. Like,
now, yeah, they might sign him again for next year because that's where I think the rumors kind of began because we know Muncy's on his contract year and he could basically could walk. At the end of the year, right? As a free, right? It's just the end of last year, right? Or he has one more year. This is the last year, right, Brett?
This is the last.
This is the last year. Yeah, so he can't walk after this year. If the Dodgers decide not to re-sign him, he could go as a free agent, and that's where you start to wonder: should the Dodgers trade him now, especially with the injury? That it doesn't seem like it's season-ending, but would a team be willing to take him on now? With prospects,
that's a tough one. You still want to see him play after the injury, just to feel a little bit better, rather than like, okay, it's just a bum bruise, I'm gonna wait. I think he should be fine. But like you kind of want to see what you get out of him when he comes back. Like, play a series, play like 3 or 4 games. Like, okay, yeah, he's fine, everything looks good. Because before you start making knee-jerk reactions if you don't know, I just think that's a bad idea. I think you're stuck with covering with Rojas is hitting 246 and Kike, who's batting 195, which, sucks to have those two guys switching off and on because that's what you got. And then you got Ruiz, who comes in and has 6 at-bats and batting 167 with the Dodgers. So, I don't know. It hurts. Can you limp your way into the All-Star game until he's back? I mean, that's what I think the Dodgers need to do. But I think a third base conversation is probably going on with the Dodgers right now, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, I think it has to be going on because, we don't know how extensive that Muncy injury is. Like we said, it looked serious. We don't know. The Dodgers, of course, are not going to give all the details on exactly when he's coming back. But I don't know if he doesn't, this is the time. July is the last chance the Dodgers have to make a big trade. As after July, they just have the waiver wire and all that. But this is kind of the last opportunity. So I think I think my prediction is if Muncy can't get healthy in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I think the Dodgers are going to start to get a bit nervous, right? Because I don't know, Rojas and Hernandez, just those two guys covering. Yeah. I don't think that's enough, Brad. I think the Dodgers are going to be aggressive to try to get a third baseman who's healthy and is going to be able to play every day because I think that is a very important position, right? I think it's too important for the Dodgers just to kind of pass up on it. If Muncy is not healthy by July 25th or so, I think we're gonna start to see those rumors kind of ramp up. The Dodgers trying to get aggressive, to try to get Nolan Arenado. I think that's going to be their guy that they're going to try to get. I don't know what everybody thinks out there. What you think?
Well, I'll tell you what I think. Well, for Tim Rash says Muncy's not going anywhere. He wants to retire as a Dodger. That's what Tim Rash says.
Yeah,
I like that. The Dodgers are going to make a trade, Mike. I'm going to tell you that right now. I will go out on a limb. The Dodgers will
make
Brad
right here.
Yeah, Brad Stradamus on this moment. Here's my receipt that they're going to make some sort of move. And they're going to do it, obviously, before the final day. And that move will not be starting pitching. That move will be either a utility player who can do both, who can play outfield, because Dodgers love utility guys. That's one of their favorites because you can put them anywhere. And so I feel like an infield position, possibly someone who could cover some outfield, will be a trade that they make. And they're going to do it at the end of the season. All right, but end of July. Guaranteed. They're going to trade. I just don't think it's pitching.
But who's going to be on the outside looking in then on this roster? I mean, that's going to be the thing, though. Who are you going to move out then to make room for that supposed person? That's going to be the question mark, right?
Yeah,
because they've already moved away from Chris Taylor. He was kind of the guy that was on the outside looking in, and Michael Conforto is the other guy now, which I don't think the Dodgers could trade. But I mean, he's the guy they definitely don't need.
We didn't even talk about him.
Yeah,
How did we just get through 40 minutes of the show without talking about his lack of hitting?
Yeah.
That's like, you should have to drink after that or something. I don't know, right? Conforto, yeah. That's why I feel like anyone you replace needs to be a utility guy. He needs to be able to
you have to just cut Conforto then? Because you can't trade the guy.
No, you cannot. You got to eat that thing. $17 million. You got to eat it. Like, I mean, can he come out of it? 7 home runs, 21 RBIs. He's almost at the halfway point. What if he went on a tear? Maybe he could hit 25 home runs in a season. Like, I don't know what 60 RBIs. That's an important spot to be taken up by Conforto when he continues to, I mean, he's had some few games. It hasn't been as bad because I think he was down to like 140 at one point. So he's up to 176, which, okay. I mean, Kike's only 195, and we celebrate him every time he comes in, which is awesome. I love
Well,
Kike, but
he's a Dodgers legend. I mean, come on.
he's a Dodgers legend, but it's like at some point you still look at what the Dodger legend's doing, and you still that's his body of work. Like, well, you are hitting 195. He does have 8 home runs, so
Yeah.
I would love to see him get 20 for the year, but I don't
I
think
just
that's
can't wait for October when that guy comes up to the plate. I mean, he always does something special every October. Come on.
You know what the thing is with that? It's probably so ingrained in his head now
Yeah.
that it's just his confidence level boosts at that time, and he's so positive that he's gonna do good. Like he doesn't go into that like Mookie. Remember how Mookie used to go into the playoffs?
Yeah.
He's just like, oh shoot, what Mookie are we gonna get? The guy who can't hit his way out of a wet paper bag, or the guy who could just crush it left and right, and you would get that way. And Mookie just, I feel like, got in his own head until last postseason where he actually did really good. But I think Kike, it's such a positive switch in his head turns on. Like, oh, it's what I do. It's October. I hit dingers and I knock in RBIs. That's what I do. So that's pretty rad. I feel like it's set with him. That's what Kike is going to do.
We got some comments here. What is it? Beard is saying, keep Muncy. Another fan saying keep Muncy. Also, what is it? Grizz saying Teo's rated the worst right fielder in baseball. Muncy rates at the worst at third base. Betts isn't hitting while struggling. What are your thoughts? I mean, I don't know. Kind of, I think the Dodgers are not that bad at fielding. Come on, we're not that bad. I mean, we made some errors this year, but we're not that bad.
Look, Teo's doing what Teo is gonna do.
Yeah.
He's hitting 257 right now. What's his career? 262.
Yeah.
So he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's on track to hit 30 home runs if he has a good second half. He's at 14 right now. So I'm not gonna throw any shade on Teo right now because he's where he's at. His career is 262, 257, 54 RBIs. He's only got 2 RBIs less than Ohtani. And he has days off, right? More than Ohtani gets. So I think Teo is the least of our problems. I think he is sometimes atrocious with his D, like, diving for a ball or something, and the guy gets a triple out of it or something like that. Yeah, he does stuff like that occasionally, but, man, what he means is bat and clutch, and you look at what he is in when there's men in scoring position, he's always clutch there too as well. So, no, Teo's a Dodger through this. You're not doing anything with him.
Yeah,
He's staying put.
He's staying put. Like, yeah, I mean, and I do agree though. What is it right here? Beard is saying, if you compare Mookie's abilities at right versus short, what was it? Mookie's a league average at best shortstop, right? I mean, I do think he is an average shortstop, and obviously at outfield, I think he's
really. You
yeah.
don't give him a little bit above the average, like just a little bit.
No, I think Mookie Betts is an average shortstop. I mean, I think he learned the position later. I think he's an outfielder. Yeah. I mean, I really think that is the position we're always going to compare him to. I mean, come on, he was one of the best right fielders I've ever seen with the Dodgers, right? I mean his arm, everything. I mean, I know the Dodgers moved him there, but I'm just saying I do agree with the fact that he's an average shortstop. I mean, do you really think he's an above average shortstop, a Gold Glove?
No, not above
shortstop,
but Mike, just a little bit above. Just like
a little bit.
Like if here's the middle, I feel like he's right there. Just
yeah,
like maybe a B minus or like a high C plus or something like that.
Yeah, not just a C. Yeah.
But you see him make plays to where, that's athleticism right there. The dude can play all the positions. But yes, I will not argue with anyone. He's a better right fielder than he is an infielder. But for some reason, he likes to prove people wrong. Right? You count him out and he's like, okay, I'll show you. And so he's been playing decent ball, but I feel like he's also going to get even better and hot right now because he did not get invited to the All-Star game. He's not on that roster.
No.
And that's something he's used to doing. So that is going to piss the dude off, and I really feel like Betts is going to like step up the second half of the season big time. But you guys, he's not. They're not going to move him. They're not going to move him. That would be a next year thing if they were to do something like that.
Yeah, this year he's staying at shortstop.
Yeah, they're keeping him there. And as much as we want to change that, it's not happening.
Yeah, I just miss. I wish we still had Corey Seager. Miss Corey Seager for sure. The guy was exceptional, right? Great shortstop.
Yeah, I just feel like I feel like what they didn't. Dodgers could have signed him, or what was the story on Seager?
Well, they wanted to give Gavin Lux eventually the opportunity to give him that everyday shortstop position, right? They didn't want to pay all that money for Seager, and we know how that turned out, but that was, of course, the decision they made. With that.
I felt like Seager's heart wasn't in it. Like he didn't really want to be a Dodger. Maybe it was something that happened behind the scenes, but it just almost seemed like he wanted to be out.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if that had something to do with it or whatever, but yeah, missing him big time. I wish we could go and like get a younger version of Adrian Beltre and bring him back. And put him at third.
Yeah.
If we had him in his prime at third when he hit like 49 home runs for the Dodgers that year, oh man.
That would be insane. We got, what is it? Was it Gil Reese saying you have to face? You should go out and get a center fielder that can hit the ball. We already have a center fielder that can hit the ball, right? I mean, we already have Eddie Pajes. We don't need another center fielder, but I think we need another left fielder, right? I think that's probably what he was trying to say, right?
Conforto.
Yeah, I mean he's the elephant in the room here. Come on, I mean that guy has been very disappointing for the Dodgers. And I think the Dodgers, like you were saying, Brad, I mean, I don't think they could trade him. I think they're going to have to release this guy if they want to get another. There's a deal for an outfielder, like you're saying. They make a trade. They're going to make a trade. It's for an outfielder. They're going to have to probably, cut Conforto, and he's not going to even be part of that trade, right? I really think that's what's probably going to end up happening.
I mean, if you're another team though, and you're just going, hey, he's not like old, right? What is he, like low 30s or something like that? So I don't think it's an age thing. So maybe
it's only a 1-year contract. Who's going to want to pay that money for the next 2 months? It's like $8-9 million. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think another team would want to pay that. No.
You're right. Dodgers would eat a lot of that contract.
Yeah,
for sure, just to get him out. And I think they look at that and going, well, he's costing us $17 million. Let's keep sending him out there. We're still in first place. But it's like, well, how long is that good for? Yeah. I think that needs to be addressed. So once again, I think what the Dodgers could use the best is a utility player at the deadline who can play infield and can also play outfield, who's somewhat talented, who's somewhat, a go-after guy. So there's my thoughts.
We got a comment here from Jeff Rule saying Mookie's more worried about which brewer is going to be on his podcast. What do you think about Mookie Betts doing a podcast? As we know, that's been talked about a lot. Mookie's been doing a podcast now during the season for a bit. I don't know. I like it. I think it's fine that he's doing a podcast. I mean, I don't mind players doing other things. I know some people bash him for that. What do you think about that, Brad, that he does this podcast where he has friends come on and talk about baseball and life and all that? I don't know. I think it's pretty cool.
You know what? I listen to his podcast too, so I check it out a lot. And as far as that goes, it's like, man, I was thinking that the other day. It's funny you bring it up because I was actually thinking that same thing, like going, man, that kind of takes away from what you're doing if you're doing that, But it depends on how much production he's doing. Is he just sitting down and he has a production people who record it?
Oh yeah, I mean, come on, yeah, he's got all.
So as long as it's not, he's trying not to do 5 days a week or something like that, and he's just doing a couple a week or something like that.
Yeah.
But it can be a grind. I mean, and it's uncharted territory because we're not used to this because this is new, right?
Yeah.
For baseball, like there's going to probably be rules at some point on players when they sign them that they can't do things like that or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe it takes a little bit out of it, but if he was hitting and really being Mookie Betts right now, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But he's like 50 points off his career average right now.
Yeah.
And that's a lot, dude. That is a lot to be down. So maybe as long as it's 1 day a week, 2 days a week, I got no problem with that. If the schedule's grueling, then it takes away from sleep, training, or whatever. I'm not for that.
Well, Brad, we're coming to an end here on the live stream today. Dodgers, of course, taking on the Brewers tonight. 3-game set out in Milwaukee. What is it? 4:40 time, West Coast time, 6:40 local time. What are your final thoughts for the Dodgers this week on this show today?
Well, I mean, you look at what is it tonight? The game you got Yamamoto going against Peralta, and he's been pretty dang solid. 9-4, 2.91 on his ERA. So the guys are somewhat evenly matched. But I feel like Yamamoto is when you want to right the ship when you've had problems. I feel like Yamamoto's the guy to do that, right? Like he's basically your ace right now with everyone the way the injuries are. Got the All-Star nod. So I think having him tonight is good. Follow that up with a little Kershaw the next night. I think you're good to go. So Dodgers need to get back on track. Take the win tonight with Yamamoto. Go for the win tomorrow. Take 2. You can lose one of them. Lose the third game if you want, but just do what you're supposed to do. Win the series because you do have 6 more wins than this team. So you still should beat this team.
Makes sense. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching today's live stream. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like the video. And, as always, hopefully the Dodgers can take care of business. Take us away, Brad.
Hey, guys, you know what? We're all huge Dodger fans. There's some of you trolls that are Padre fans out there. I'm not going to hate on you guys. But as a Dodger fan, all you need to do is think those positive thoughts and think Dodger blue all day long. And let's go Dodgers. Boom.
That's right. Let's go Dodgers.
Zero.
Thanks for watching.
You.